this evening. Temperatures will be dipping below freezing. Make sure you're listening in the morning. We'll keep you up to date with what is happening on the roads, and it will warm up actually as the day goes on, and we'll get highs of about 8 by the afternoon. So hopefully that ice will be a thing of the past. Now, over the Christmas period, I'm sure at some point we have all watched a bit of the darts, and Luke Littler winning that world title again. Gord, you and I were just saying, I mean, it's phenomenal at the age of 18 how good he is, how much money he's won. Like, it's unbelievable at his age, isn't it? How well he's done out of that sport, and the job he's doing to raise the profile of darts.
Oh, he's done it massively, let's be honest. A 16-year-old kid playing in your first World Championship, which he lost, and then he's been in 2 others since. That's 3 in total and won 2 of them. Incredible talent. He's got nerves of steel. It's incredible. The way he finishes as well, you know, so big finishes, 150, 180, whatever it is, he bangs them off, no problem at all. It's such an exciting talent, to be fair. But my question is it a sport?
I think it is a sport. I've long been a darts fan. I'm rubbish at it, but I do think it's a sport, and I think the viewing figures over Christmas and New Year would probably lend itself to that. What about darts in Pembrokeshire? Well, Fraser, we have actually got 2 Pembrokeshire players, haven't we? Declan Coles and Ben Adams playing at Q School today, which I think you said is in Milton Keynes, trying to win a tour card, aren't they? So how have they got on?
Unfortunately, both missed the opportunity today. Both lost their first round matches today. I believe they will have another chance now on Tuesday and Wednesday, where if you get to a certain stage of the tournament, then go into the next phase and eventually, hopefully, get a card. Look, you know, the best of luck to them, really. It would be great to see someone from Pembrokeshire on that kind of stage. Obviously, we had Jamie Lewis, didn't we, from Cardigan a few years ago, went all the way to that PDC semi-final and played Phil Taylor, actually.
Yes.
And look, anything that, you know, Luke has done a tremendous job in raising the profile of the sport. So many more youngsters, even in Pembrokeshire, you know, just aware of darts, throwing darts, wanting darts for Christmas. But look, there's a poignant point behind this, you know, with so much talk about business rates, pubs in Pembrokeshire struggling. They need pub sports, and you know, darts, there's always been darts leagues. There's one around where I live called the Carrick-Sampson Darts League. There's the Fishguard Darts League, Milford, Haverfordwest, and establishments need them. They need them badly because they bring business in, and there's always been a good atmosphere around the darts leagues, and there's been good participation. We need that to continue, and to raise the profile of it like Luke is doing can only help that. So I hope it has a knock-on effect, and I really hope Declan or Ben can, even if they don't go all the way, can have a significant run the next couple of days now and draw even more publicity to it, maybe.
Yeah, we'll follow that, definitely. Good luck to Declan and Ben with that. And there is definitely a role for some of these so-called like pub games, but social games as well. Because I remember we did a feature on pool, didn't we, on the show, and pool in Pembrokeshire. By the way, I did dust down my pool queue over the Christmas period. I was on quite good form, having not played for a few years. But I think you're right. They do a great job in terms of social for people, getting people into pubs which do need that custom. So that would be really good if Luke Littler's title win can get more people chucking darts, chucking the arrows, I think.
And to be fair, Ben, he is a Man United fan, to add to it.
He is indeed a Man United fan.
Perfect timing now, we can talk about Amarin.
I tell you what, Gordon, that does link in very nicely, because I do want a hot take from you, because Ruben Amarin was sacked today as Manchester United manager. How are you feeling?
It's not a shock, really, is it? Let's be honest. Chelsea manager went as well. Tottenham's manager will go next week. You know, and United are sitting in 6th in the table. And to be fair, he hasn't played the way that United play over the seasons, attacking football. I know he's got a few players missing at this moment in time, but I don't think he really fitted in the United way. So the board have had something to say about it. He had his say after the Leeds game, so that's the end of that.
I did hear those comments yesterday, Fraser, and I messaged one of my friends and said I just don't think there's any way back for him from that. One thing I did find interesting with those, they've sacked him now when they're 6th in the table. And things have been worse under Amarin, haven't they? I did feel up until a couple of weeks ago he'd maybe turned the corner a bit.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. I think the comments maybe hinted at problems behind the scenes, didn't they? And a man who's almost trying to get out the club or accelerate his exit. I think there was obviously relations had broken down. A very strange thing to say the manager comparison, wasn't it? I think you're right. I thought there was time when he was heading in the right direction. I thought over time, if they gave him time, that I didn't see United, don't get me wrong, becoming Champions League or even Premier League challengers within the next year or so. But I thought they would be consistently performing a lot better. It hasn't really happened. You're right. It does seem the top half of the Premier League is a bit more fallible this year, with the exception of Arsenal. Manchester City still look vulnerable. Conceded late equalised yesterday, couldn't beat Sunderland. Liverpool have fallen off a bit of a cliff at the moment. So to be sixth and only a couple of points off Champions League is maybe a little misleading, if I'm honest. But still, it has been worse for United fans, that's for sure. But look, it just now a club that desperately needs a right.
You think it's bad, Fraser? They got relegated when I was a kid. Mate.
Tommy
Too good to go down.
And Tommy Doherty kept his job good. Imagine that.
So good.
It's a club in desperate need of an appointment, a long-term appointment who can make steady progress. Now.
I'd like to see you boys. Who are they going to actually appoint? My God!
All right, if I was a Man United fan, I would want Eddie Howe. I'd try and prize Eddie Howe out of Newcastle. I think, and give him a long-term job there. I think he'd be perfect. I don't think he'll leave Newcastle at this point.
No.
I think they'll go with Fletcher for Wednesday, then they'll do an interim, and they'll wait till the World Cup's finished, I think, and pick someone then. And I tell you, I think the next Manchester United manager very well could be Thomas Tuchel. I think.
Ooh. Even though he's England manager now,
I don't think he'll go beyond the World Cup with England. I think he'll leave after the World Cup, however it goes. And I think he could be the man they might look for after that. Phrase.
It won't be Wilfred Nancy, but he is on the market.
Or Martin O'Neill, actually. I did wonder about him. Yeah.
He's just gone at Celtic. It's an interesting point about Eddie Howe, whether they do go closer to home now. Overseas appointments haven't seemed to work for them. I think the strong possibility of Xavi now being on the market, who was doing a progressive job at Barcelona of bringing young players through, which, if United are to go back to this DNA, as we keep hearing about, was part of what that club was all about. Whether bring back Ole Solskjaer, someone's just said, I'm not too sure about that either. But whoever's making that point, Stephen Price, it's a fair argument that it hasn't got better since Solskjaer went. But I think Xavi, in terms of bringing young players through and the style of football he played, maybe would be an ideal fit. But I hope that Xavi knows what he's getting himself into for sure. Because I think there's problems in that club which go beyond the manager.
If they're doing an interim until the summer, I could see Solskjaer being in the mix for that, and I think he probably would do it as well till the end of the season, wouldn't he? I mean, Frank Lampard went back to Chelsea, didn't he, for a short spell? I could see that happening, but I think they need to get it right. And I do take your point as well about other managers, Gordon. I think Thomas Frank could well be under pressure if we lose at Bournemouth on Wednesday. I think and he nearly got the Man U job himself 18 months ago.
Yeah, ironically.
I think you might see that happen as well. And just to finish, Fraser, how's life under the new Swansea manager as well?
Better. Disappointing late loss at Millwall. Very disappointing that we didn't have a live show a couple of days after the Wrexham win.
You can mention it now.
Yeah, I look forward to that one in the next documentary. But, 5 wins from 7, I think, before yesterday. Pulled 8 points clear at the bottom 3. So yeah, he is someone going the right.
I do need to talk about that actually, because I was going up to Scotland the day after that game, wasn't I, Fraser? Yeah. And I think was that the Wednesday or the Tuesday or the Wednesday, I think, wasn't it, the Wrexham game? And you messaged me and said, if you're going anywhere near Wrexham, can you please shout something out of the window when you go? But unfortunately, I didn't go that way, so I didn't get the opportunity. But that was some win, wasn't it? Right at the end. Yeah.
It was, late tap in and late drama, but I'll take it.
Absolutely right. Okay. Listen, we were going to touch on some of the rugby, but we are almost out of time. I just wanted to highlight one game that was weather impacted. That was in the Championship, where Crimmick were battling so hard for their first win of the season against Kenwick Hill. They were 21-17 down, and it snowed, so the game had to be abandoned with 20 minutes to go. So we will never know whether that was going to be the day. How frustrating is that?
As one
very frustrating.
Perspective on Sunday, It doesn't rain, but it snows.
But it's exactly right. Exactly right. And they are susceptible in the north of the county, aren't they, to some extra snow, and Crymych does suffer from that. But they were so close to getting that win. I feel sorry for them there. Narberth were narrowly beaten as well, weren't they, by just a few points in their away game too. So we'll follow the rugby, of course, and we'll bring you up to date on that over the next few weeks on Pure West Sport. Gordon, Fraser, Tom, thank you very much indeed for your company tonight. Been really good to be back together on a Monday evening on Pure West Sport. Don't forget to listen in the morning to the breakfast show. Tom will be back on duty bright and early. We'll have all the latest news on the roads because it is going to be a cold start to the day across the county. It's the Red Thread with Tim Cooper next on Pure West. We will see you next week. Good night.
Want us to shout about you? Message us now on WhatsApp.